Thanks for the presentation. I have a curiosity as far as you mentioned marketing, which is, after so many years, still a very weird angle when you have to go with marketing content because of the, I would say, the emotional language as opposed to the typical product description manuals. Now my question is, when you had to plug in a new vendor supposed to localize marketing content, do you follow a different process? Because the question is, well, you were mentioning, well, we want to have a native touch. We want the local people in Germany, France, Latin America to feel they have to identify themselves. Do you follow the same process, or do you work with them? Do you, let's say, get them up to speed in order to get a learning curve, in order to get the text as you want? Or do you pose immediate expectation you have to deliver now, today, do it, I don't want to know, I want, otherwise you're out. Which was your approach? I'm very curious. Thank you.
Okay. So, yes, theoretically you have to expect a learning curve. Practically, our company runs so fast, decisions are made today, a campaign is created a week later, and localization has to be done in a week and a half. And this is what happened to us just last quarter. So unfortunately, there is no time to give our vendors for a learning curve. But what we do, when we bring a new vendor on board, we put them in touch with our reviewers immediately, and we do a very big knowledge transfer. So we basically swamp them with style guides, with old translations, with memories. We schedule calls with our reviewers, sometimes even our local marketing team and the new vendor for every language specifically. And we try to help them as much as we can. This actually happened to us just last December when decision was made, I think, end of September to bring a transcreational vendor on board. We had 4.5 weeks to do that, and the files were coming on the 3rd of December. And the campaign is being executed now. So within 3 months, we had to find a vendor, go through the RFP, train them, start working. And the Christmas was right in the middle of it. So unfortunately, the way the market works now, there is no time for learning curve. You guys need to be ready. Nobody's going to wait for 3 months for you anymore to learn. Ideally, that's what we should do, but nobody has 3 months. If you wait for 3 months, the competition will beat you.
Eva, thank you for the presentation. I'm curious because you told us that the software localization, the product localization is done by another team.
Yes.
How do you deal with the glossaries and terminology that this team generates as an input for your team?
Yes, so that is still a little shaky. When we did our corporate terminology consolidation initiative, we tried to include that team, and we also shared all translation memories. Unfortunately, after about 4 or 5 months, the cooperation fizzled out. We are separated because we are under corporate marketing and they're under R&D. And sometimes getting 2 organizations in the same company talk together is not that easy. So we are involving them more on an informal basis.
Okay, we said we only have 2 questions between sessions. Richard has another question, or Renata does as well. Can you just write it down and keep it for after Kathy's presentation? Thank you.
All right. Okay, so just before I start talking a little bit about Xerox Global Services, which is the division that I work for. I'm going to just give you a brief overview on Xerox. So Xerox is the world's largest technology and services company that specializes in document and content management. Our 2009 revenue was about $15 billion. We rank in Fortune 500 as we're currently number 147, And one little piece of information that we're very proud of is that in 2009, Fortune magazine appointed Xerox as one of the most admired companies, as well as number one in corporate experience or environmentally friendly. So we're certainly very proud of that. We're represented in 160 countries. 5% of Xerox's revenue goes to R&D, to research and development. In fact, we have 3 research centers located in Canada, US, and Europe. And we have a team in Grenoble that specializes in translation technology, machine translation, and also in PAR, Palo Alto, we have also linguists that are working on advanced languages technology. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. Okay, so a quick overview on Xerox Global Services. We are the premier provider of business innovation and managed services. Thank you. Offerings. Okay. I think I have a little bit of ADD as well. Because I had told me that, but it can come in handy sometimes. All right. In terms of capacity, 2008 numbers, 3.5 billion revenue. One thing I forgot to mention is that maybe as some of you are or may or may not be aware, recently Xerox has acquired ACS. And in so doing, it became a $22 billion company with a workforce of around 77,000 employees worldwide. So those numbers are definitely going to change. It's now estimated at around 10 billion. We have over 50,000 services professionals worldwide. We do a lot of, and it's been very interesting in seminars where we talk about being end-to-end, and that's something that we certainly do. We're a lot believe a lot in advocating for our clients and provide consulting services as well. So localization is one part of what we do, but definitely we try to be end-to-end. We have around 6,000 clients in over 50 countries. What you may not know about Xerox is, again, that we have nearly 40 years of experience in doing content creation, localization, and learning services for Xerox. Around 1,500 document specialists, translators, project managers, learning experts worldwide. One of the top language service providers. Also, maybe about 17 years ago, we started going into the external market. So before we were only doing what Xerox used to do, but we also started venturing into external market and servicing other clients, and that's been very successful for us. In terms of our localization production network, we definitely have a global footprint. Just recently, we opened a spoke in Budapest. We're looking into opening another one in India. We have 3 major hubs. One in Rochester, New York, that's where I'm located, and it's a very sunny place. Not really, it snows about 8 months of the year. But our other excellent center is in the United Kingdom, in Wellington City and Slough. And our third one is in Singapore. And this global reach really is very helpful for us because it allows us to better meet the demands of our customers, since we are covering 3 continents with that structure.